Is AI truly rational? Most people will take intelligence and rationality as synonyms. But what does it actually mean for an intelligent entity to be rational? Let's take a look at a few markers and see where artificial intelligence stands in late August 2025. I'm Alex Chadyuk, and this is AGI. Rational means precise, or at least minimizing imprecision. Modern large language models are a type of a neural network that is nothing but a mathematical function. If mathematics is imprecise, what is? On precision, AI gets an A. Rational means consistent, in the sense of avoiding patterned contradiction. If an agent having the same set of facts can derive some conclusion in more than one way, that conclusion should be the same for all possible paths. We cannot really inspect the underlying logic of the LLM deriving the conclusions. The foundational models are just too massive. But the fact that LLMs are quite sensitive to the variation in the context they get does not instill much confidence. Having said that, recent advances in tiered worker reviewer setups demonstrate the deep thinking agent's ability to weed out inconsistent reasoning arcs produced by the underlying LLM. With that, modern AI is getting a B on the consistency. Rational also means using scientific method, questioning one's assumptions and justifying one's conclusions. Based on what we have just said about deep thinking agents, kind of checks off that requirement, although the bar for scientific thinking is actually higher, we will still give AI a passing B. Rational means agreeing with empirical evidence. Sadly, modern foundational models are built on a fairly low quality dump of the entire internet. Of course, a lot of work is being put into programmatically removing explicit or nefarious content, but because there is just so much text, the base pre-training datasets are generally pretty sketchy. With AI, for better or for worse, not yet being able to interact with the environment in real world to test all the crazy theories it most likely has in its training dataset, agreeing with empirical evidence is probably a C. Rational also means being free from bias. Bias comes from ignoring some otherwise solid evidence because one does not like what it implies about oneself or one's worldview. In this sense, having an ideology is to have bias. The foundational models do not yet have emotions strong enough to compel them to defend their ideologies the way that humans do, but their sheer knowledge bases consisting of large swaths of bias or even bigoted text are not a good starting point for them. Granted, the multi-layered agents can be conditioned to pay extra attention to removing bias from their output, but that conditioning itself is not a simple task either. Sadly, the designers of LLMs are humans with their own agendas, so there is no way of saying whether these people did not introduce biases that fit these agendas, even if these biases were not there originally. DeepSeek and its reluctance to express opinions on Chinese politics is a case in point. Combined with the fact that the base training datasets of all LLMs may heavily underrepresent relevant scientific information, freedom from bias in modern AI is probably a C. Our expectation for artificial general intelligence, or AGI, is that it will be as good as the best of us. When we are looking at the modern AI's mixed scorecard on rationality, I do not think we are ready to say that this is AGI.